Jason Licht, the general manager of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, here on the program. How you doing, Jason?
How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
How was your March?
In half of February. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, it's been, I guess you always have to expect the unexpected, huh?
I think so. Yes, certainly in our league. So, all right, let's just jump into it here. By the way, I appreciate you calling in on such a busy day and capping off a 6-week run of news that your team was front and center in. So let's get right first into it. The first piece of everything, Tom Brady. What was your conversations with him like, leading to his announcement afterwards, and walk me through that piece of everything here, Jason?
You know, we touched base every once in a while, texts, phone calls. I know Bruce did as well. You could still feel it a little bit that he was wanting to play, and I didn't want to. Bruce and I, neither of us wanted to try to back him into a corner, give us a decision. I was getting a little antsy about the combine. We had no idea yet that he was going to come back, but free agency was going to start in a week, and then had some good conversations with him. And he made the announcement on, I believe it was a Sunday, right before free agency started. So right before the tampering period. So he called myself. He talked to Bruce, let us know, and kind of away we went.
So was his trip to Manchester United part of any of this at all, Jason?
The owners weren't even there. The owners weren't there. So this trip he had planned for several weeks beforehand. I think he may have. I'm not sure on this, but I think he actually planned this trip before the season even ended.
So the Glazers were not even there at the match, right?
No,
at Old Trafford. Not. Okay, so you get a call, and that had to be amazing for you to get that phone call that he's coming back.
It was great for all of us, but it was great for Bruce and I. And then I, said, "Hey, can you let the world know in some way, shape, or form so we can start doing some business here?"
Right.
Because it certainly helps when you have Tom Brady and. We were having some success already with some conversations and some deals with our guys, but it certainly helps. Everybody knows who their quarterback's going to be.
So Brady basically just needed to figure things out on his own. Was there anything that he requested or required of you or wanted to see from you before he made that decision, do you think, Jason?
No, he didn't. And he's not like that. He's not one to say, "Hey, we really need this player," or never talk to him about the draft. I guess take that back. Last year, I let him know we were going to maybe take Kyle Trask, and he was there in the second round. But that was, just so he knew. But no, he's talked to BA and I about a couple players in the past. One being Gronk, one being AB. But he's not like that. He doesn't. He's not a demanding person.
Jason Licht here on the Rich Eisen Show, Tampa Bay general manager. So when you refer to BA, you're referring to your senior football consultant. That's who you're referring to, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you first hear from Bruce Arians that he might want to step away, Jason?
Well, Bruce and I, over the last year, were very, very close. So we spent a lot of time together outside of here as well. Always had talks of, when he thinks he's going to step aside. He's always said he wants it to be the perfect situation. He always said that in his ideal world, we would pass it down to one of his assistants, and it would have to be the team would have to be in good shape. He wouldn't want to leave it in ruins for somebody. And so it was about the combine. We started talking about it a little bit, but he didn't want to leave if we had uncertainty at quarterback. And when Tom told us that he was coming back, Bruce waited a day or two and said, "This is the perfect situation," and to pass the torch. And I don't know exactly how the conversation went, but I know he informed Tom.
Okay, so he did tell Tom that I'm going to step away, and he did that. Do you know when he did that, Jason?
It was that first week of free agency. It was within a couple days of, I believe they all these days run into each other, Rich. So, I mean, I can't tell you the difference between yesterday and 4 weeks ago. So, but it was within a couple days, and I know they had a really good talk, and Bruce told me that Tom understood, and then Bruce, we started talking a little bit more about it, and it kind of went from there. So we didn't make the final decision for a while, but on Monday, this past Monday, while we were at owners' meetings, he called Todd, and then I called Todd, and I know ownership called Todd, so got the ball rolling.
And what about the process that normally happens when you hire a new coach and how that all works? Did you have to check with the league and any of those fronts? I mean, how did you go through the process? Okay.
We did, and we kept it within the guidelines and the rules, made sure that we were being compliant.
Yes.
And, as of, after March 1st, if a coach retires, because of the new league year and lack of, teams don't have to give their assistants permission to go talk for a head coaching job after that time. So it'd be hard to, first of all, get candidates. It'd be hard to assemble staffs. So they that's not why we hired Todd, but I'm just saying that's the reason why we were able to pass the torch to Todd.
Well, I think we know why you hired Todd. He's not only beyond qualified for the gig, but he's also been with Bruce for a while. And
well, Todd was it was an easy transition, although we have multiple coaches on our staff that we love, including Byron, that we think he's going to be a head coach here. I'm pretty sure within the year. So, but we have multiple coaches that are on that trajectory. So, but Todd, to us, for this instance, Bruce recommended, and then myself and ownership were all in agreement. So it was easy for us.
Todd, I've got Jason Licht right here on the Rich Eisen Show, the general manager of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Look, man, you've been around.
Todd Light?
No, I did. I just because it was Todd Bowles, and I said Light.
Well, I always get Todd Light, the old safety.
No, that's exactly what happened. I'm not perfect, I like to think I am. But look, Jason, you've been around the block. You hear everything just like everybody else, and you can understand why many of my questions are timeline questions. Is because the sense is that Brady and Bruce were not copacetic anymore. And that's why he stepped away. I mean, you're hearing it. And the reason why Bruce is now stepping down was some form of Brady being satisfied in order to come back and play for the Buccaneers. And I want to put that right in front of you and see what you think of that storyline.
Yeah, no, I've heard that. What's been put in front of us today, it's put in front of Bruce at his press conference, too. All I got to say is I have not seen any of that other than normal coach-player relationship. Occasional, like Bruce likes to cuss out every player at one point or another. But they have a phenomenal relationship and always have and still do. So, I don't know what else I can say to put it to bed, but people are, like Bruce said, people are going to write what they want to write.
Right. And so, it's just as simple as Brady was going through his process about whether he wanted to play or not, and then Bruce decided what he decided in his own way. So I guess I'll ask you a hypothetical, and I know that may lead to not getting much of an answer, but that's the way things go. If Brady decided not to come back, he would have stayed then, because it would have been a much more troublesome situation in which to try and leave things to somebody he wanted to leave it to. Is that the sense?
Well, the sense was, I don't want to say troublesome. It would have been challenging and more challenging. And Bruce wanted to make sure everybody was in a good spot. All of his assistants left in that the house was cleaned. And so I don't want to deal with the hypothetical, but he has gone on and said that he would have he was looking forward to coaching whoever that quarterback would have been. But all I got to say is his dream has been, since I've known him, when he retires, to leave it to one of his assistants, and you know where he stands on diversity and inclusion, and to leave it to one of his assistants in a phenomenal spot. And what better better spot could it be? Can you think in the history of the NFL where a coach is retired and it goes to another coach where they have a quarterback like Tom Brady and a very good roster like we have? So he's one of the most unselfish people I know, and that this has been one of his platforms, or his major platform, since he's been a coach. And
then I guess one last one for you on this whole process then. Look, part of the reason why this conversation is we're having and all those rumors are out there is because Brady decides to come back, and the one thing that you'd want to know, certainly if you're at the end of your career, you want to know who your teammates are. You want to know who the owner is, obviously who you would be, and those pieces are all in place. You also want to know who your coach is, your HC. And now he's gone. Did he have any 2 cents, and was that part of the process, and whether you were going to go with Todd Bowles? Did he have some sort of check mark on that, Tom?
Bruce and Tom had a great conversation about it, and Bruce didn't have to do a good sales job on his assistants. It speaks for itself. So, there was never any demand. I can promise you that. And Bruce feels very good right now. He's going to his lake house for a couple days right now. He's probably going to hit the links. He's never been in better health, and you know what? I'm very excited for him that he's now, without the stress of a season, he's going to be able to preserve his health. Okay,
and I just loved his soundbite today too, Jason. He's like, I'm the senior football consultant, whatever the hell that means. I'll let you know when I figure it out.
It probably means he's going to want to pull me out of here and go get drinks.
I'm sure. Makes sense. It makes sense. So,
no, he's phenomenal. It's like I'll lean on him. He's phenomenal. With me, with my staff, with the draft and free agency, he's a phenomenal evaluator, and I'm really looking forward to working with him more on that.
Yeah, and it's you'll have a front row seat to something that I think we're all kind of wondering what that looks like, and we have a sense of it, is Bruce Arians in football without the stress of coaching. I can't imagine how much fun that might actually be when you're going to get his advice and he doesn't have that stress hanging over his head. That's going to be something else.
No doubt. I'm going to have to buckle my seatbelt again, I think.
I bet. So, okay, in the couple minutes I have left with you here, Jason Licht, I don't know if you know everything going on here. A certain player started talking, I think, in your direction on Twitter, and Ndamukong Suh. I don't know did you see his tweet at all, Jason? Did you see his tweet today?
Yeah, no, I did.
Okay. He thinks that the team's one-man light on talent, is what he says. What do you think of that subject matter?
We have a lot of decisions we're going to have to make here between now, the draft, after the draft, a lot of balls in the air, and we'll just, we'll see how it goes. That's always my tagline, so I'm sorry to be nondescript there with you.
That's all good, man. You just got to give me the answer that what's on your mind. And so I guess I'll ask this anyway because I don't know the next time I'm going to talk to you, but I know you've been always kind of come on this program. What next for Brady? I can't believe I'm asking that question on a day like this, but it's the truth. Like, you do have to, I guess, give him a new deal of some sort, and then the question about how long is this the final ride? What can you tell me on that subject matter, Jason Licht?
You know what? I'm going to be pretty vague there too. It's we might have some kind of a adjustment for cap space. I don't want to. I never talk public about contracts, so. That's tough to do. All I know is Tom's going to be playing for us this year, and then we'll see where it goes.
Okay, Jason Licht, I appreciate the time. Thanks for joining on again such a busy day, man. Congrats. I mean, if I had told you March 1st, Brady's back, Bruce is gone, March 31st, what would you have said to me? If
I would ask you what you're smoking.
You've been around Bruce. You've been around Bruce too much, man.
Used his line there.
Yeah, I know. He has. That's what he said to me when I asked him, after winning the Super Bowl and he came on. I'm like, what if I told you that, when you took the job in Tampa, Brady would be your quarterback and you'd win the Super Bowl? This is what he said to me.
What are you smoking, bro? Give me some.
That's what he said. That's it.
Well, I guess a lot of Bruce has rubbed off on me.
It has.
That's not a bad thing.
It is not. It is not. Well, enjoy having your new senior football consultant around. I love Todd Bowles. You know that. You've got a great man in the gig.
Phenomenal.
And good luck, throughout building your team through the draft. And I'd love to have you back when you're up for it. Thanks for the call.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
You bet. That's Jason Licht, everybody, the general manager of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.